All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Boyan. I'm the Director of SEO and Content Distribution. Welcome to another 15-minute keyword research challenge. I want to thank everybody in our community for saying great things about us doing this every week. We're going to continue. We might even do more. I'm not promising anything, but sure enough, we're just going to try. Today's presentation is inspired by all of the lovely things that you have said, especially about one of our previous videos, which I'm going to be linking in the description if you're watching this on YouTube, or in the comments if you're watching it somewhere else. And it was about creating keyword opportunities and through research about informational content, to target informational content in the skiing niche. And that's exactly what inspired us to do this video today. And I don't want to prolong anymore. Let's just dive into it. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to work on this as if this is just a project that I'm working on, right? So let's go. Okay. I'm going to start my keyword research in Ahrefs, and what I'm going to do is, what is happening is that I am interested in everything that relates to moving or living or working or just simply traveling to Portugal. And if anybody was wondering, yeah, that's simultaneously me sharing something about my private life as well as starting this research. Okay, let's go. I'm going to go to having the same terms just to see the scope of this project. And sure enough, this is huge. It's 350,000 keywords that are mentioning this this term and what I'm looking for. But instead of just doing research for something that's I'm going to use the include function in any word. What I did last time was use modifiers like why, who, how, and etc. But this time I've prepared something, quite different for you, because it's more detailed, and because although I want to create a content series about, moving, traveling, and so on, I want it to be as broad as possible, because I want to see what, kind of a suggestions I'm going to get, and what kind of a topic, opportunities can I have. And I guess this is a little bit of a cheat because I prepared for this, so it's not a 15-minute keyword research challenge, but I swear to you, it did not take me longer than 20-25 minutes just to realize what I want to target here. And I want to show you what I came up with, so we can put this in together and see what kind of a list we end up with. And here it is. This is what I did. I started with, I started thinking about, things that I'm going to need when I move to Portugal. What are the next steps? I started thinking about stuff that my audience is going to need for this series. And yeah, the question is, could you do this for any other country? Absolutely. But we're going to do this for Portugal today. Okay. And yeah, it's quite simple. It's important for me to understand, all of the things that relate to living there, right? There's somebody who's coming in. So that, makes sense. I went with home and homes, staying, permanently, state. And then I went with also deal and deals. I'll show you why that was important as well. I went with rental and rentals. Always use all of the variations that you can to anticipate the terms that you're going to need in your keywords, that you anticipate in your keyword structure, sorry. Then cities. And then here we go. This is also really relevant to what I'm interested in, right? Property, purchase, real estate, apartment, flat, house, rent, and buy. And then of course, next to this, we have the all the derivatives of those terms, so I don't repeat myself. I wanted to limit myself to Porto and Lisbon. That doesn't have to be the case, as you are going to see when I implement these terms. There are going to be other opportunities that you're probably going to think about as something useful. But I decided to limit myself only to this in this keyword research. It can definitely be, broader and, better in terms of depth, right? So what I wanted to also know is, what happens with, retirement in Portugal. I would like my parents to, visit me. So I want to know, want to create, blog posts about these things as well in my blog, right? I want to know also everything that relates to the cheapest, most possible, things that relate to living in Portugal. Then this is something really important to me, and I think to my future readership, if I'm doing this content series, it's about, taxes, tax paying, and so on. And then I have words that relate to traveling. And then one of the most important things, and that's something I'm going to be focusing on when we see how the groupings end up, is, cost of living. What do I need to do for residency? What do I need to do for visa, and so on and so on. So let me bear with me for a second. I'm going to incorporate this into Ahrefs. The reason I did this right here and not directly in Ahrefs is because I really wanted you guys to see everything that I ended up with. We're going to come back to, moving, really important stuff. I'm also going to come back to the exclusion, but you'll see it soon enough. Okay. When I apply this, as you can see, it's 77 terms. So we went really, hard on this. And yeah, nice. I am at 77K keywords. Let me see if somebody's... yeah, Mark, that's exactly right. All I wanted to do here is anticipate readers' intent. And this is what I focused on. And yeah, it definitely can go broader. Mark asked whether I was using intent in order to create these search terms. Okay, so here we are. 77,000 keywords. I have some exclusions here. And how am I going to do that? But well, I'm just going to check out what's happening here. I have two notes that are important for you guys to understand. And this is, first, we want to exclude things that are really not, interesting to what we want to do. Another thing is that maybe we're going to find things that are not, interesting, but maybe we want to have them still inside so we can actually, have a broader picture of what's happening. To give you an example of what I'm talking about is Lisbon, Portugal, Porto, Portugal, and then, where is Portugal and so on are, things that I already know I'm not going to be creating pages about, but I need to have them in my research. I mean, that just makes sense, right? Now, as for exclusions, these are the things that I decided on just because I saw them in my research here. What I want to do is I want to exclude things that are related to, this is what I found down in my list. It was like, I don't care about, shows. I don't care about watching things that are on TV. And then that's why I excluded stream. And no, I'm not being prejudiced against Poland and Wales here. I would exclude even more countries, but the essence here is I excluded these because I don't want any kind of cost of living comparisons, at least not for this content series, okay? And I don't want anything football related. It's a huge football country. I love it, but it's not something I want to have now, okay? So this method is something that you can do on your own depending on what you're doing, but to have more exclusions. But in order to create a great keyword list, if you're going to remember something from this video, it's, have as many inclusions as you can. And then, exclusions should be at a minimum referring to, it's not a good research if you need to exclude 300, things. Probably you're not doing the vertical justice, you're not doing the research the way you are supposed to be doing it, right? So 75K keywords, that is streamlined. I'm happy with this. I'm going to exclude keywords that have volume less than 10. I don't want to be I don't want to be analyzing these keywords. They are not something that I want to focus on right now, but if you're doing B2B marketing, that's something that you want to look into. Maybe there's something on that, bottom of the list that's important to you. When you do this, I'm going to end up with 8,000 keywords. And, now there's this question of how do I group these keywords? How do I make this work? Which pages should I create, and so on and so on. This is something that we have answered almost a year and a half ago at Content Distribution with our first project, where we published 200 pages in 6 months and went from 0 to 100 organics per month in just a little over a year. That was our first project that was really successful, and our latest project is I'm gonna say also doing quite fine. We are at 500,000 organics per month at the moment. And the thing that they have in common, just like all of the other projects that we did in between, is ClusterAi. It used to be an in-house tool to analyze keywords and group them, but as some of you already know, since 4 months ago, we have soft launched it, and we have a lot of happy customers who are grouping keywords. Okay, that is what I want to do now is just bear with me for 30 more seconds. I want to, just explain how this works. The only thing that I need to do with this keyword list, instead of having a team of 5 to 6 people to explore everything, I'm just going to export this list, and I'm just going to drag and drop it as is into ClusterAi. I'm going to choose Ahrefs as my keyword list type, because this is something that I've done right now. Same goes for SEMrush, and whoever joins me next week or in 2 weeks, I'm going to be doing a special presentation of how we group keywords from Google Search Console. Because if you're wondering, can I make groupings for pages that I'm already ranking for somewhere and make them better? The answer is yes. I'm going to show you next week. There's a location for Google search, but we're doing USA right now. So I'm just going to leave that as is. And I want to show you what you will be getting back from ClusterAi. Here it is. This is the deliverable that ClusterAi spits out, and we are calling it keyword opportunity analysis. And it's going to be quite clear why in a moment. The first column that you see is the main keyword that basically shows you what is the focus keyword for a page that you're going to create if you decide to do so. The third column is populated by variations, which should be grouped together with the main keyword. And the middle column is the aggregated volume of the main keyword and all the variations, which is aggregated from Ahrefs, or in the case of, let's say you importing something from Google Search Console, we're going to fetch the impressions. But that's the only thing we're fetching from your import into ClusterAi. Everything else, the entire analysis is done by our AI by analyzing search engine result pages on Google. And we do that by analyzing the results for each and every keyword and then comparing them amongst each other. That's how we make sure there is no cannibalization between suggestions that you see here. And that's how we make sure that the groupings are the best possible. Well, I can actually say perfect, but I think our graphs are not enough to say that. Okay. I want to spend a little bit more time on this deliverable before we part ways, just to comment on what we have received here. I've gotten a lot of questions from people asking me, how the hell am I going to create a page that's going to, rank for all these things to do in Portugal, right? Like, there are just too many keywords. Why should I be doing this? Well, that's an excellent question. And that's a question that I would like to point back to you. Like, why would you be doing this? Is this something that you want to target? The answer here is that ClusterAi gives you, ClusterAi gives you the idea of what you need to do in order to be competitive with this keyword. And you know what? I can actually share my own experience. Since a year and a half ago, I was actually working on an active contract before I joined content distribution, where I needed to rank on these kinds of keywords that are quite similar, which start with things to do, living, cost of living, and so on and so on. And I can tell you that I've made a bunch of missteps, one of which was, creating a page about things to do in Portugal or in any other country really early in my content efforts because I did not realize that it's going to take so much time, right? And if I did have ClusterAI, I would have gone down this list and selected something that's really relevant and something for my audience, and then start with this one. Is this a good topic? Yes, it's perfect. This is an excellent thing for my audience or my customer journey for my travel blog or my expats blog, because this is something really useful, right? And it's something I can quite clearly optimize for, right? These are all the groupings that I need. This is the keyword I'm going to target, and I feel quite confident I can achieve this, right? But you probably notice some yellow fields here. This is something I pre-selected to share with you guys. So this is a perfect example of what you need to focus on, and something where I made a misstep or even a mistake when I was trying to optimize for these kind of keywords a couple of years ago. And that is that in order to rank for something like this, the competition, this is the look of the competition. This is the way that you are going to have the best chance to rank for something like this, is to talk about all of these topics within this single page. And what I'm working on right now is a way how to structure this article. I've done a couple of tests on whether that should be a huge guide or whether it should be a parent-child post structure. And if you're interested in receiving that, please comment below this video, and I'll make sure to send you that article and that case study about how to optimize for these keywords that may seem to you as something that should be a separate article. And let me show you another thing, how this is actually quite nice. If I can stop making mistakes. Okay. Let's search for something. So this is quite interesting for me because I'm like the targeted audience for this kind of a topic. So let's say expat. Okay. Here are the topics that mention this kind of a thing. So when talking about expats, I'm going to be grouping this into this huge topic. Okay, that's clear. Living in Portugal makes sense. And that's what I highlighted as yellow, things that mention the word expat or expats. Best places to live in Portugal. Yep, I'm gonna, this is not gonna be a separate article. I mean, I could do it, but I'm not gonna have a pretty good chance on ranking because this is what our AI suggested should be the best solution. And that is actually true. And you can also test that out when I share this deliverable with you. Same goes with this, living in Algarve, Portugal. This is, an awesome province in the south. It has, a limited volume, but it's quite clear what I need to do in order to, focus on this. And then here's a topic on taxes, which of course is going to mention expats. Okay. One final thing before we go, I want to thank everybody who joined us today live. Guys, please hang out for us to talk. And for everybody else who's watching this on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, please ping me with all of your questions in the comments. We're doing this every 7 days. We're gonna have so many keyword groupings for everybody. Thanks so much for joining. See you soon.